You know what they say, you should never meet the people who you consider your hero. He wasn't no hero, but I love him as an actor still, but dog!
You have no upside in having this conversation, in speaking out against Donald Trump. You are making yourself a target. The interview will air, and he will immediately find a reason to talk bad about you in public.
Yeah.
But you're choosing to use your platform to do so. What do you say to other celebrities who don't want to alienate part of their fan base, don't want to step in harm's way, but they have similar megaphones that you do?
You know, the idea to be bullied at my age by someone like this is not happening.
I'm pretty sure you were never bullied.
No, there was a kid sometime this, that, but the point is not, and for the country, no. And I think other people are going to have to stand up and just, because it's either that or you're going to find yourself in a situation that's so terrifying. We always hear about people from Eastern Europe, the Jews from other parts of Eastern Europe, from Western Europe, coming over. Look what happened in France with the Nazis and so on. And they come over and you hear these, and when I was a kid, they'd say, you don't really appreciate this country. You don't really appreciate what we know from experience. Imagine what those people went through. I'm just starting to see it. You know, as a kid, I said, Hitler, it's a nightmare that never would happen. But now I see that it's possible. But those people, and sometimes I run into some people who are close to my age who are from Eastern Europe, European countries, or even Nazi Germany, and you understand it.
Did you ever care this much about politics?
No, I don't. I mean, I'm sort of not indifferent, but it's not my. But I'm so angry about what's going on. I don't see how it can be avoided.
Are you really concerned about what's going on? You know, the whole theme this past week has been about being intellectually honest. Y'all have heard me say this in multiple videos this week, multiple times. So for me, it's like, Robert, I'm not, you're entitled to your opinion. But if we're just looking at all of the facts and you saying what's going on, what lens are you watching this through? Honestly, you see the border? You see what's going on with the migrant crisis? We talking about tax dollars and things like that being used to aid people who aren't even from here, instead of homeless people, maybe even veterans, giving more to education. You want to talk about the food prices, the fact that people can't afford to feed themselves, let alone a family these days. It starts to make you wonder, why are the Hollywood elite, so to speak, always anti-Trump? Again, of course you're entitled to your opinion, but I'm saying, like, it's to a point where the derangement from these Hollywood veterans, so to speak, or elites, I'm gonna just keep calling them that. It is what it is. They have this real strong disdain and fear of Trump getting back in office, and really don't even give you any like policy-based things that they don't like. They just talk about how they don't like him as a person, and then start comparing him to being a racist or a Hitler. I love how Western lensmen put this. Propaganda Press, MSNBC, and Robert Deniro edition. This interview is a case study in legacy media left-wing propaganda chum. S. Rule, I don't know how you say her last name. I mean, her first name or whatever. Frames Deniro attacking Trump as an act of heroism because being anti-Trump in Hollywood will put your career at risk. So, why speak out? Deniro responds, because Hitler. Basically, that's quite literally what it equated to. In the entire interview, Deniro couldn't name a single act or policy that was detrimental to our country, just vague talking points. Now let's dive into a bit more of this interview.
Over the last 8 years, we've heard you talk about the former president. You have called him a fraud, a con artist. You've said he's a New Yorker like you, and you have watched this brand of BS for decades, and despite that, he became president. And now we're watching him 10 blocks from where we are right now, sitting in a courtroom as a criminal defendant. What do you think about that?
I think of how absurd it is. And this might be the one case where that could be it for him. It's a state case. It's the least important in many ways, and yet it's the one that could be tried and finished in well enough time for people to just take that in.
Does it give you some sense, not of joy, but of relief at least, that he's potentially facing some consequences? Because as you've said before, this guy's a con artist and he's gotten away with it for years.
No, he's more than that to me. He's sick. He is really, genuinely a sick person that somehow has been allowed into our system. And I'm not calling him, I'm tired of calling him names. He just can't be anywhere near the office of the presidency.
You've played a lot of bad guys. Would you ever play Donald Trump?
Never. There's nothing about him. There's not one redeeming thing in him that I can see ever. And it's funny, I was just thinking that he actually became president. He could have done good things. Instead, he had to do it all wrong.
What did he do wrong?
He's so, as we all know, so.
See, this is what you get. Just talking. What did he do? What exactly did he do wrong, bro? Like, just tell me.
Narcissistic and self-centered.
What do you say to those who say, I don't like the guy, but I'm going to vote for him? What's your message to them?
I don't understand it. I don't think they understand how dangerous it will be if he ever, God forbid, becomes president.
What?
I don't think they really understand. And historically, from what I see, even in Nazi Germany, they had it with Hitler. They don't take him serious. He looks like a clown, acts like a clown. Mussolini, same thing. These guys, I don't know why, they look like clowns. They somehow, people...
You just said you're tired of name calling and proceeds to name call.
element of society identifies in some ways with them, but it would be chaos beyond our imagination. There's no mystery about him. He's right out front, and what he says is what it'll be if he becomes
Did you
president.
forget that he was the president?
Do you think our democracy is at risk in this election?
I think that it is. I always keep saying democracy is great, of course. But democracy people take for granted. It's a word that some people don't even understand. They take it for granted. It's about right and wrong.
Right.
The guy's a monster. It's beyond wrong.
More names.
It's almost like he wants to do the most horrible things that he can think of in order to get a rise out of us. I don't know what it is. But he's been doing it, and it's scary.
Are you
Excuse my French.
Do you have any concerns for the future of the arts if he were to become president? He has already said he wants to go after his enemies. He wants to go after journalists and the news media. What about your industry?
I believe he will. The only thing that I would think is that what'll happen is that he'll go after these things like he always impulsively, and he'll be stopped. There'll be pushback, a lot of it, and there might be as much pushback as needed, like in the streets, conflict that could happen, civil strife. Because, but he will try it.
First of all, just to take a little break, the Trump derangement syndrome is deep. Almost make you wonder, did he somehow take your girlfriend? Did he steal your bike when y'all was kids? For real, he over there, I don't want to call him any names, but more name calling happens. Like, honestly, I'm kind of watching this and going, what's the point? Who cares? Who cares what these people think? You got other people out here that are just going to the, great length of saying that they're not going to watch any more of his material, and they can't stand to watch any of his material. I don't know. He did pretty good in a couple movies. You got a couple classics out there, but for his politic take, nah.
But I'm so angry about what's going on, I don't see how it can be avoided.
Do you think Joe Biden's the right guy?
We don't have a choice. And I think he is the right guy. He's a good guy. He's trying to do the right thing. And we don't have a choice. And I say that in a very positive, good way.
Then what would be your message to President Biden?
keep up the fight, keep at him, go at him hard, and every chance you get, go at him. Go at him, because people, they take notice of that stuff. And he's not afraid, but he's doing what he should do. He knows that. That's the only way. I use figuratively when I say punch him in the face. Go at him. A bully, you punch in the face. The trouble with Trump is he's not just a bully. He's a stupid bully.
You warned America about who Donald Trump was in 2016. You're a lifetime New Yorker, so is he, and you said the country does not realize who this fraudster is, and not enough people listened. Do you think they'll listen now?
I hope to God they do, because they don't. If it goes the other way, I keep saying this, you will see things that, like you'll see, it's like invasion of the body snatchers.
We'll see the border secure for sure. We'll see, teachers getting fired for trying to introduce and, induce them with sexual mediums and things of that nature. Yeah, we're going to get, the deep state looked at very deep and, eradicated if the best way you possibly can. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know how far he gonna give it that, but food prices, hopefully inflation goes down. Taxes won't be so high for me to get a house or for me to get a car. My mortgage won't keep going up and up and up.
See people you knew or you thought you knew all of a sudden changing, all of a sudden going with that side.
What?
Either for self-preservation, because they actually believe it, or they're deluding themselves, or whatever. But then when that happens, and you walk into a restaurant, you see people you used to know, and all of a sudden they're just not opposing it. They're going with the flow. And that's even more scary, insidious, I guess.
Man, get me off the screen.
Say it like that, and ultimately just depressingly disappointing. There has to be a time when you have to say, okay, that's it. No, we're not doing that. We're not allowing that to happen. And this is the time in this country for that to happen.
Then this moment is about decency and democracy to you?
It's decency and right and wrong, and democracy follows. You have to know how to behave in order to make the democracy work.
This fake ass journalism. Sorry, y'all, excuse my French. But, it's just annoying to say the least when you see interviewers do this type of thing, turning this whole situation, this current environment that we living in right now, into a Trump problem, making everything that's happening during this man's administration under the stroke of his pen or the lack thereof, everything his problem, bro. Like, she ain't got no shame about it either. At all. You can tell that she over there just enjoying it, making sure she can paint the narrative as much as she could to keep her job. And the delusion is try to sit there and sell you, if he gets in office, this and that is gonna happen. And people sitting back like, bro, we had him in the office for 4 years and none of the stuff that you saying was gonna happen happened. In fact, everything that you're claiming was gonna happen actually happened under the Biden administration. Isn't that weird? And on top of that, you're not giving me any educated talking points whatsoever. Everything is feel. He's dangerous. He's this, he's that, and yada, yada. And this happens. Hollywood elites and boom, boom, boom. How does this put your career at risk to support Trump in 2024? People don't care no more. Somebody said that he should stick to reading scripts because when he think for himself, it's not worth it.